I have Zach Clore here with Cross Country Mortgage, which is one of my lender partners. And one of the questions that I've been asked quite a bit lately, and I know Zach can answer for everybody, is I'm self-employed. I have my own business, but I want to purchase a home. How do I balance, having a low tax return, right? Low adjusted gross income.
Yep.
But yet still be able to purchase a home, because if this is low to save me on taxes, then I have a problem. How do I get qualified for a mortgage when I'm writing off tons of expenses? So
sure.
What are solutions for these people? What do they need to be thinking about now? Because it's January and they're going to start filing their taxes here in the next 6 months. So what do they need to do? Sorry, I swallowed wrong. What do they need to do in order to set themselves up, and what are their options?
Sure.
So tell us what entrepreneurs need to be looking at.
I think the first question is what type of property you're buying, right? So if you're buying an investment property, there's a really, really cool, super easy, smooth loan program set up for investors called a DSCR loan program. It's almost a no document loan type because that specific type of loan is based primarily on the appraised rental value of the home, not your debt to income or your tax returns, right? If it is for a primary residence, there's two ways we can go about it. The first way is going to be the traditional, take your last 2 years of tax returns. If you're getting K1s, S Corp, those kind of things, we'll probably need your business returns in addition to that.
Okay.
Now, the other way of doing it for a self-employed buyer, it's kind of pick your poison, right, is going to be a bank statement loan program, right? So if they intend on continuing to write off as much as possible, they can take a non-QM loan type, so a non-traditional loan program, where we're looking primarily at 12 to 24 months of bank statements. It's going to be a little bit higher rate, but now you're choosing how much you're going to show the government or pay the government versus what you're going to pay in your interest rate. I would say the easiest way for us to know is to get an application in, get their documents in, and we can actually send them in for what's called a fast track approval, where we collect your docs and we send them to underwriting well ahead of putting you guys under contract.
Gotcha.
That's the 60-second version or answer to that.
Got it.
If you want to get with myself or Lucas here at Cross Country, we can sit down with you in person. We can take a look at last 2 years of filed taxes. Again, if you've been in business for 5 years or more, there's a good chance we can just base this off of your most recent 1 year of tax returns. And then things that we can add back in, you brought that up earlier, are things like depreciation. That's typically the biggest one.
Because that's a non-cash deduction.
Yes, so when we're looking at a depreciating asset, whatever that amount that's written off is, we can typically add that back in to the income.
But I think we talked earlier, and what you said was really important, is that you connect with your CPA. Like, get with your CPA now, plan ahead. CPA and you guys are all working together to find the most strategic and best financial way to purchase a home.
Absolutely. So a great CPA typically is going to ask you, when you go to file taxes each year, do you intend or anticipate on purchasing a property, buying a home? If the answer is no, they're going to go about it one way. If the answer is yes, they may have a conversation with you on exactly how much you're willing to, or how much you want to write off, right? Especially real estate agents, you guys have a ton of expenses, right? So we're not taking that away from you. However, if it's kind of coming down to how that's going to match up with what you can afford or get pre-approved for, it may be worth it to write less off so that we can get you approved for more.
And almost too, like, what number does that adjusted gross income need to be?
Right.
To get the home that you want. You want to buy a $1 million home. Okay, what does your AGI need to be to get to that 1 million? And then look at with your CPA and be like, how does that impact me from a tax perspective?
100%.
So that you have that lower interest rate as opposed to the bank statement loan with the higher interest rate.
Correct. And I probably should have started off with this, but I am not a tax professional.
Yes.
I will never pretend to be.
Yes.
I'm willing to have conversations with somebody's CPA, but I can never sit there and tell you, hey, you need this number on your tax returns in order to get approved for, X to Y.
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
I can be there as kind of a facilitator. We can show you based on 2024 returns what you would be approved for.
Okay.
And then if your CPA wants to show us a draft of 2025, we can give you an idea.
There you go. Yes.
What the expectation I like to set with buyers that have multiple businesses, personal and business returns, is I kind of joke about it a little bit, but the expectation I want to set with you or your client is you're most likely going to be required to submit everything short of a DNA sample in order to get an approval, right?
Okay.
So a lot of this is at least the last year of tax returns, if not the last two. And then we're working with your CPA in terms of a year-to-date P&L letter, profit and loss statement, to make sure that income is still the same as last year or it's increased, right? If we have the reverse, if we're showing a decrease in income, that can be a problem. So we do want to get a head start on this before. Certainly, self-employed buyers certainly want to get the pre-approval process started well before home shopping.
Yes, absolutely.
Because we don't want any bad surprises. So.
Okay, so recapping all of that, if you are self-employed, get with you first, come up with a game plan, meet with your accountant, and then you guys decide whether a bank statement loan makes sense. Right? Based off of income, or whether we want to do a loan based off of 1 year's tax return, which is 2025, and see what the accountant can do with the client to make those numbers work, where maybe there's less write-offs, so it shows more income.
Correct.
So they can go conventional.
Correct.
Okay.
And it could be a big non-issue, right? It could, if we have, let's say, for example, an agent and their partner, and the partner's W-2, and they have enough income to support the deal, then we could be looking too far into things at that point.
Yes.
So one of the parts of my job is making this as simple as possible. Usually less is more through underwriting. So if we don't need to add in all of these different things for a self-employed buyer, because we have a W-2 borrower on that application, we're going to take the smoothest path of least resistance on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, Zach. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right. If you are self-employed and the conversation we just had was beneficial to you, give Zach a call and ask questions that are specific to your situation, your scenario as you're preparing to purchase a home. It might be that you own a home and you want to, sell that home and buy a different home. That is also true for that type of buyer as well. So Zach, how do they get in touch with you?
Call me directly, call or text 603-921-8087, or you can email me, zachary.clore, that's CLOR, @ccm.com.
CCM Cross Country Mortgage. All right, thanks guys, bye.